Welcome to another new episode of the Get Organised with Declutter Me podcast with myself, Shelina. I hope you're well wherever you are in the world. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or you've been a loyal listener for a while, I'm so pleased to have you here today. Your support truly means everything to me. Sharing my passion for decluttering and organising with you each week is such a joy, and I feel so lucky to do what I love. If you're enjoying the podcast, I'd be incredibly grateful if you could help spread the word, whether it's by following or subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing this episode with your friends and family. Your feedback makes all the difference and it helps me bring you helpful content every week. Today, I want to help you tackle one of the most clutter-prone spaces in your home, the kitchen. Now, I know the kitchen can feel overwhelming, especially as we head into the festive season and the end of the year. Whether you're hosting family, prepping for cozy dinners, or just trying to navigate your daily routine, a clutter-free kitchen can make a massive difference. So today I'm going to be sharing 8 things you should declutter from your kitchen before the year ends. Let's make some space for a smoother, happier holiday season and start the new year on the right foot, or if you're left-handed like me, the left foot. Let's start with your duplicate items. So we all have that one drawer filled to the brim with spatulas, whisks, tongs, and somehow we only ever reach for the same 2, don't we? If you have duplicates or even triplicates, I'm thinking of those potato peelers. People have 3 or 4 of them. It's time to pare down. So here's what I suggest. Lay all your utensils out on a flat surface, whether it's the countertop, the dinner table, the floor. Pick up each item and ask yourself, do I use this often? Is it my go-to? If the answer is no, set it aside. Keep the tools you genuinely love and use. You don't need 4 can openers or 5 wooden spoons. The duplicates can be donated or passed on to friends and family. And if you're holding on to broken or old utensils just in case, trust me, you won't miss them once they're gone. Clearing out these extras creates space in your drawers and makes finding what you need so much easier. Next, we're moving on to the spice rack and pantry. So this is an area we tend to overlook, but it's one of the most satisfying to declutter. It's so satisfying, I can't even say the word. Spices, for example, lose their potency over time. So if your paprika isn't as vibrant as it used to be, or your dried basil smells like cardboard, it's time to let it go. So go through your spice rack and check the expiry dates. If there's no date, use your senses. Smell them. If they're not fragrant, they're not going to add much to your cooking, especially to curries and things. And, my mum will most probably be annoyed with me if she hears this, but my mum loves keeping spices for ages. And now it's a thing from the past because we live in Kent. My parents live in Kent. And we had to go shopping in London to get all our, Indian groceries. So, of course, they bulk buy stuff because we go every few months, not every week or every month. So she keeps things which have expired, but she'll still keep them. Even though now it's really easy to get all the stuff. Like there's shops around our area that have all the stuff, or you can buy it online, or you can actually buy it in the supermarket now because everybody eats curries. But my mom will still keep the stuff and it's like got no taste to it. You can taste that the chili is not as strong as it should be. So get rid of it. Like maybe I became like this because of my mom. Yeah, I did. Don't tell my mum I just said all of this. But anyway, so if it's not fragrant, get rid of it. And while you're at it, sort through your pantry shelves. So look for stale snacks, forgotten tins, ingredients that are stale, and you bought for a recipe you're never going to make. This is also a great time to reorganize. Group similar items together. So baking supplies together, canned goods together, snacks together. So you can see what you have at a glance. And if you're like me, you might find the odd duplicate item. Like I do have it. It happens. Breadcrumbs from Sainsbury's because they're the best. So donate unopened non-perishables to the local food bank and make space for fresh ingredients. Now, if you don't have a food bank, like the UAE, we have one food bank in Dubai, but no one ever knows how to get to it. So give it to like your security guards or your maids or somebody who will use these items. Next, let's talk about appliances. So that waffle maker, like everybody has a waffle maker. Why do you buy waffle makers? Especially those mini ones for the kids, which they never use. Juicers and slow cookers, the Nutri cooker thing. And they just sit on your countertops or in cupboards gathering dust. These gadgets are often bought with the best intentions, but if you're not using them regularly, they're just taking up valuable space. Now with the juicers, if you don't make juices at home and you just end up buying juice from the supermarket or from those shops that make the juice fresh, then there's no point having a juicer. Think about the last time you used the appliances. If it's been more than 6 months, ask yourself why. Is it because it's inconvenient to use or to clean? Or perhaps you've discovered you just don't need it. Either way, it's time to make a decision. For appliances you rarely use but want to keep, find a way to store them out of the way so they're not cluttering your daily space. But for those you know you won't use again, consider selling it or donating them to someone who will appreciate it. A less crowded kitchen can do wonders for your cooking sparks. Now, I know how attached we get to our mugs. They're sentimental, they're practical, and somehow seem to multiply on their own. But let's be honest, how many mugs do you actually use in a week and clean? Or somebody else cleans, or the dishwasher cleans it? So start by pulling out all your mugs and glasses. Keep the ones you use regularly and those that make you really happy. For the rest of them, think about donating them to a charity shop or giving them to staff or repurposing them. So mugs can be really great for planters if you're good at growing, which I'm not, or for makeup brushes, pens, pencils, different things. Also, you can use them. I use the candle jars. Once I finish with the candle jar, I clean it, but I use them for hair clips and my hairbands. But you could do the same for mugs as well. As for glasses, focus on the functionality. So if you have a dozen wine glasses but only ever host 2 friends at a time, do you need the entire set? So be realistic about your needs and let go of the excess. And also if you have glasses where you have one which doesn't match with the rest of the sets, then why have you got it? Is there a sentimental reason for it, or have you just got mismatched sets all over? So get rid of the ones that just look bad, scratched, cracked, ugly, funny colors. People buy really funny colored glasses. Same for mugs. Or if you have those corporate mugs or ones from networking where you're giving it for free and you've kept it, why are you keeping it? Don't keep it. Why? Do you want to drink from that cryptocurrency thing you went to? No, don't. Next, let's talk about plastic containers. They're a classic kitchen conundrum. They're incredibly useful, but they seem to lose their lids faster than we can keep track. Or worse, we end up with lids that don't fit with anything. So take all your containers, take out all the lids, and start matching them. If a container or a lid doesn't have a match, it's time to toss it. For containers that are warped, really stained, cracked, it's best to let go of those. And if you're like me, let's start getting rid of those plastic ones, because especially if you put curries in them, they just stain it. So get the glass ones because they're really good. And if you get them from somewhere like IKEA, you can buy the glass bottoms, and then you can get the tops. You can get different tops to match whatever your aesthetics is. So wood, plastic, blah, blah, blah. And then if you break it, you can get a new one. Or if it warps or whatever, you can get a new one. So it's really easy to get that. But don't buy that set of 50 with all those millions of little containers with millions of lids that you never use all of them. Don't buy the pack of 50. Just buy what you need. So once you've narrowed down your collection, consider stacking them neatly or investing in a more uniform set of containers. This makes storing and accessing them so much more easier and less stressful. Cookbooks can be wonderful, but how often do you actually use them? If you've got a shelf full of books gathering dust, it's time to reassess. So pull them all out and ask yourself, have I cooked from this in the last year? Have I looked at the recipe and drooled? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. Keep a small selection of your favourites and consider digesting any recipes you want to keep, but don't keep the physical book for just one recipe. And don't forget about those takeaway menus. With everything available online now, they're completely unnecessary. Toss them into the recycle bin and free up drawer space immediately. We all have those chip plates, scratch pans, or faded oven mitts, or even worse, burnt ones with holes, and then you burn your fingers. You've been meaning to replace them, but you haven't. These items not only take up space, but can also be unsafe or unpleasant to use. So go through your cupboards and assess the condition of your cookware and utensils. If something is damaged beyond repair or doesn't function well, let it go. Treat yourself to replacements if needed. Even a small upgrade like a fresh pair of oven mitts can make a big difference in your kitchen experience. Finally, let's talk about the just in case pile. Those things we hold on to because we might need them someday. It could be extra baking trays, even though you're not a baker, novelty gadgets, or that one lonely champagne flute. Here's the thing. If you haven't used it in the past year, chances are you're not going to use it. So be honest with yourself and let it go out of the kitchen. Your kitchen should be a space for what you use and love and not a storage of what ifs. Before we wrap up, here are a few quick tips to make your kitchen decluttering session even more effective. So set a timer. Do a mini declutter for 15 to 20 minutes on one drawer, one shelf. It makes the task more manageable. Create zones. So there should be a coffee and tea zone, a cooking zone, baking zone, Tupperware zone. So when you're focusing on the areas and doing a mini declutter, start creating those zones. Use the FAT rule. So file, act or toss. And I know I've used that for online, for paper, for various other things, but you can use it here in the kitchen. So apply it to everything you touch. Maintain what you declutter. So once you've cleared that space, put the systems in place to keep it tidy using drawer organizers or labeling. Celebrate your progress. So even small wins deserve recognition. So treat yourself once you've completed a section, preferably with chocolate. So there you have it. 8 things you can declutter from your kitchen before the year ends. I hope this inspires you to dive into your kitchen and reclaim some space. And remember, decluttering is about making your life easier, not perfect. Even small steps can lead to big changes. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. It really helps me to reach more people who might need a little decluttering magic in their lives. And if you need more help, don't forget to check out my website, declutterme.com, for personalized, organized support. Thanks for listening as always, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye.